Well, 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 I was surprised. The video for the 10th of November is, Will Republicans Restore the Republic? I must admit that I was surprised Trump won. I thought the fix was in for Hillary. I hope she ends up in jail where she belongs. In any case, Republicans will now control the executive and legislative branches of our national corporation. And Trump is not an attorney, making him legitimate in regard to the original 13th Amendment to the organic Constitution. With BRICS and most of the world online with gold-backed currency, will the phony and unlawful fiat system finally crumble? Will there be a movement to actually restore the valid U.S. Constitution for all of us? Will God finally bring us the help we need to restore our natural rights that Jefferson called inalienable or unalienable? I, for one, am tired of living on a planet run by demonic criminals who violate human rights and decency. I am ready for the kingdom of heaven to finally manifest on earth. Will playing the Trump card be enough? Indeed, I got a telephone call after 10 o'clock last night from a lady whom I've spoken to a couple of times, who lives in my local area. And of course, it woke me up, and unfortunately, I was still awake a number of hours later, and I didn't get to go to the gym as I usually do in the mornings because I ended up being on the computer looking at the results coming in and realizing that Trump was winning, which, I was flabbergasted by that. But the real challenge for Donald Trump and for all of us, and especially for our Creator, is to restore our rights to us. Our rights have been undermined and taken away from us for generation after generation, going back a long time, but especially over the past century to century and a half of what we know as the United States history. And we were the ones who were to be the lighthouse. We were the ones that were to be the example to the rest of the world, that human beings have equal rights as kings. And actually, we don't need kings because we are all princes and princesses of a divine creator. At least that was my thought. That was what I believed to be true. Well, the Republic, if you want to go back in history, was stolen from us right after the War of 1812, which was fought to change and get rid of the 13th Amendment, which forbid attorneys from holding public office at any level. And I mean, that should also include advisors. And most of the advisors aren't just attorneys, which many of them are. Many of them, if not a majority of them, are also double agents in that they hold dual citizenship, which is also unlawful for a United States citizen to be a citizen of, say, Great Britain and the United States, or Israel and the United States, or any other nation, fill in the blank, and the United States. A person cannot become a citizen of the United States without relinquishing whatever citizenship they had in any other country. At least that was my understanding of how the law actually was. Of course, they have, like many other things, they have subverted that to make exception after exception after exception, which is how criminals came to run the Republic. But the Republicans were actually not the people that upheld the Constitution. That's historical reality. I mean, Abraham Lincoln, I believe, was the first Republican president. He was an attorney, which was unlawful under the original Constitution, the original 13th Amendment. So we have a lot of things to learn about ourselves and who we are as individual human beings. And we have a lot to learn about the way the world actually is and all of the lies that have been inserted into our history to give us a false impression of how we got where we are. And things have been manipulated again and again and again, and it's time for a huge turnaround, folks. And that's what I'm praying for. And I'd like to see the principle of a republic restored, where the government serves the people, not the other way around. I'd like to see a nation that is truly a lighthouse on a hill, that shines its light into all the world for the purpose of liberating humanity from the bondage of ignorance and from the bondage of false identity and identities that are created that make us less than human, make us corporate entities that have no human rights. And that's what happens when you corporatize anything. You strip it of its truth. You strip it of its naturalness. You strip it of its dignity. You strip it of everything that is important to restore humanity. I talked about in the title, Restoring the Republic, but really what we need to restore is our humanity. We need to recognize that we are given a divine dictum to love one another. By this shall people know that you are my disciples, my children, if you love one another. Can we possibly get back to that? I had intended to make a video before I knew that Trump had won. I had intended to make a video stating that I would not make any videos going into the next year, that this would be my final year and I would complete 6 years of making videos. And then I don't know what my life would be, because I didn't see myself even wanting to be on this planet. And that's still true if things were to continue and to maintain the status quo. But if this election proves to be a turning point where we go back to our natural rights, where we go back to government of the people, by the people, and for the people. What a concept. For the people, not a lie. I see lawyers that put their signs up for the people. BS. Lawyers are the nemesis of the people, not helpers of the people, because they uphold a false standard, a false paradigm, if you will. They uphold that which is deceitful and that which has been designed on purpose to fleece us and to take that which is of value within us from us, so that we are left as slaves. This needs to change. And when it changes, we can transform the world. We can make the world a beautiful place to be, a place where humans love one another and build each other up and show by example what it means to be one who is committed to the highest good and to the best in all of creation. Is that a bad vision, folks? It's my vision. I would like to be able to get there. Will Donald Trump be one that can possibly take us there? I have no idea, but I know people can change. I know people do. And it's time for real change, not just change of party, but change of direction, from corporatization to individualization, back to our human natural rights. Thank you for listening, and namaste.